Hello everyone, I'm Jerry Romine, the entrepreneur abroad, coming to you from Phuket, Thailand, and today's video is brought to you by Webull, and if you want to get 2 free stocks, check out my link down below. Alright, today's video is going to be a new segment for squeeze plays, and our goal is to get in while the stocks are consolidating before the squeeze, and then when that happens, we want to ride it up through the breakout. Don't worry, I'll go over the entire squeeze play setup and a new indicator in today's video. Let's kick things off today with a success story from Troy. Thanks, Jerry. I made $1,300 on In-Phase Energy, and Fox has another one on DNN. I'm up 14% right now. Please tell Jerry thank you. I love it when people post their success stories because that's what my channel is all about. And if you appreciate my videos, then all I ask is for a comment and a like to help the YouTube algorithm show my videos to more people that align with my no BS, no hype videos where I teach people how to become better investors. And if you decide to take your investing to the next level, please check out my Patreon community, and that's where I give you daily hot stocks and trade alerts, plus access to multiple specialized channels to increase your education. Without further ado, it's time to grab a huge cup of coffee and hang on, because this is not your normal stock channel. Let's start with defining what exactly is a squeeze. The type of squeeze I'm talking about today was introduced by John Carter, and it capitalizes on the tendency for price to break out strongly after consolidating in a tight trading range. And just to be clear, this is not to be confused with a short squeeze and the types of squeezes we are seeing on AMC and other stocks. And if you're using Thinkorswim, they have what's called the TTM squeeze indicator, which is free. I've customized my momentum indicator, and I'll use it since it makes things a little easier to follow, but it's very similar. We're going to use Apple today to go over our chart setup and our new indicator. So to start off, let's look at the top here, and we've got the TOS bar, and this just tells us how the stock has been performing. So in the last week, it's up 2.4%, the last month 4.6%, over 2 months they're actually down 2%, 3 months 8.7%, 1 year they're up 48.4%. I love to look at the ATR, and this is the average true range, and this means on average Apple stock goes up or down $2.20 per day, and that represents 2% of the current stock price. And then our trail stop is 4%, and we can also see that our volume is up 24%, and this is comparing the last 3 days of volume compared to the previous 30. So anytime we've got volume increasing and the stock price increasing, that's a confirmation of the movement. So that's a really good thing. On the bottom here, we've got our PMC and MAC indicators, and I've covered those multiple times. So let's take a look at our new indicator here, and this is going to be the momentum indicator. And if you're looking on TOS, you can throw in the TTM squeeze, and it'll be very similar. So the first major difference between my indicator and the standard one is I break down the squeeze alert and the momentum. So if this squeeze alert is dark green or bright green, that means there's currently a squeeze going on, and a squeeze is represented by these red dots on the 0 line right here. So anytime we see red dots, we know there's a squeeze going on. Now our momentum, this corresponds with the momentum going up, which are these bars going up and down. So if the bars are in an upward pattern above the 0 line, the momentum is going to be green. We can also take a look at the momentum bars here. They're increasing if they're in yellow. Blue means the momentum is decreasing, and red means that it's decreasing. So that is our momentum indicator, and the nice thing about this indicator is you can use this on any stock you want. It doesn't matter whether or not you're doing a squeeze play or anything like that. You can simply look at this very quickly and say, hey, what direction is the momentum going? It's going up. Well, that's a good indication. That's the direction you want to play it. And right now my momentum is green, which tells me it's going up, and this comes in handy sometimes whenever these bars can be hidden behind these little dots right here. So let's take a look at Apple, and in our last squeeze right here with these red dots, we can see these yellow lines are getting smaller. So the momentum was going up. It was in a squeeze right now, and then it came out of the squeeze here, and then look what happened to the price. It shot up. So this is the move that we hope to catch in a squeeze. If we follow the momentum, we'll catch the breakout when it comes out. And then anytime I get a buy signal inside of a squeeze, that's just like a major bonus. And right here I had a JR3 buy signal. This one came in right here at $124, and the stock shot all the way up here to $136. So that would have been a real nice move to catch. Now let's fast forward, and we can see our next squeeze play was right here. We've got 3 red dots, and our momentum was clearly going in a downward pattern. Well, if we follow the stock price, it also went in a downward pattern, and it came down pretty pretty hard and fast right here, which was to be expected coming out of a squeeze with a clear momentum direction. Now if we fast forward right now, we've got another squeeze play that just happened. The momentum was going up slowly, which is okay, at least it was in a clear direction. And here's an example of where that momentum can be hiding behind the bars, and that's why I love to have this momentum right here so I can see whether or not it's going up or down. The momentum broke to the upside. It continued the upward pattern here, right here on the yellow day. That's the first day that I would consider to be the breakout, and then the stock continued to go up. So this is Apple stock. Everything is as expected. The momentum was going up during the squeeze, came out of the squeeze, and this is what we're looking at. Plus we've got it on increased volume, and I do like Apple because it's got a very low trail stop, which tells me the volatility is very low. So that's how a squeeze works. Now let's take a look at our actual squeeze plays today. We're now looking at Tesla, and on our TOS bar we can see in 1 week these guys are up 2.2%, 1 month 10.6%. We can see some red months in here, and over 6 months they're up 0.1%. So Tesla has had a rough 6 months, and that clearly shows on our chart right here. Over 1 year they're still up nicely at 210%, but I'm more interested in what have you done for me lately. Looking at our ATR, we know that Tesla on average goes up $22.70 over a normal day. This represents 4%, and our trail stop right now is low at 9%, and our volume is down about 17%. So one thing, whenever we're looking at these types of squeeze plays, it's very common during the consolidation for the trail stops to be tight and for the volume to be low, and this is a good thing, especially if you're trading options, because you can get a lower option premium, and it gives us a great way to get into the stock. Now if we come down here and we look at our squeeze alert, right now we can see that we currently have a squeeze alert on. That's this red bar right here, and our momentum is up, and that's what we're looking for. But what I want to draw your attention to is how Tesla has performed in the past. So here this was a great example of consolidation going sideways, and we had a great squeeze going on. Our overall trend was up, and this is my favorite way to get into these. And then if we look at our squeeze play, we had our momentum coming down, and then it hit what's called a deep squeeze, and this is on my indicator here. That's the really dark red bar, and then we can see the momentum started trending back up, and we had a very nice big movement. We had a couple of other small squeezes here, and we didn't have a big indication on the momentum. We can see what happened above. Then we had a squeeze right here. We had momentum going up, and it took off. What a major movement. But now check this out. This was the all-time high. Stock is going sideways and consolidating near the top. And if you would have listened to the momentum indicator, what was going on at this time? Our momentum was going down, going sideways on the price. We hit a squeeze area with strong downward momentum, and look what happened to the price. The stock came crashing down. We had another squeeze play here. The momentum went up and down, and it's very common for the momentum to change course during that indicator, so that's why we've got to watch it very closely to see what happens. And then coming out of this little squeeze right here, we can see the momentum was going up. It popped up just a little bit, and now we're looking at our current period where we're going sideways, and we don't have a very strong indication. So this would be much better if this was trending all the way strong and up. So it's a little bit indecisive here, so our signal is not as strong. Now let's take a look at our 6 month chart on this so we can just zoom in just a little bit. And now what have we got? We've got our squeeze indicator right here. Our momentum is up, and you can see everything is hidden behind the bars. So I'd much rather for this to be a stronger, clearer indication. It's definitely a possible play, but it's not as strong of a signal as we could have. You'll have to make your own decision on what you want to do on this one. It does look like Tesla has formed a bottom, and they're starting to come up. And if we look at our PMC and our MACD indicators, our PMC recently crossed over the zero line to bright blue, which is what we want, and our MACD is just about to get there. So we do have a potential squeeze play, and we'll want to watch this and see how it develops. All right, next up we've got Zillow, ticker Z, and if we look at our TOS bar, it's up 4.6% in the week, 7.4% over 1 month. 2 months they're down 10%, 3 months down 13%, and 6 months they're down 14%. So they've had a rough 6 months as well. Over 1 year they're up 89%. Our trail stop is currently 11%, and look at this, our volume is up 39%. So this is actually pretty encouraging. When we drop down and we look at the chart, we can see they're going sideways and they're consolidating. So that's very common whenever we've got a squeeze going on. And we drop down here to our squeeze indicator, and look at this, all red bars. And one thing I didn't mention yet, the longer the stock stock is in a squeeze, the better the chance for a good movement when it comes out of that squeeze. So this is looking good right here. Our momentum, we can tell that we're currently up because we've got a green momentum right here. So it is going up. And one way you can tell this is if you were looking at these stats over here, you can look it up on the line and you can see the numbers are getting just a little bit bigger. The other thing on our PMC and our MACD indicator, these are also different types of momentum indicators. We can see the momentum is trending up, and on our PMC we just crossed over and we got a bright blue bar, so that's good. Our MACD, we just had a MACD crossover here. It's going up slowly and about to cross the zero line. So whenever I look at this one and I see we've got all of the momentums are going up, they're crossing the zero lines, that's a good sign, and we've got a squeeze. This is one that I like more, especially since we've got an increase in volume confirming the movement. So I'm more excited about this one. I do have one more stock to show you and you'll see why I'm even more bullish on that one. But this one here is definitely a potential play. Our last squeeze play on the day is Concentrix Corporation, and their ticker is CNXC. And Concentrix is an American business services company specializing in customer engagement and business performance, and they've got 250,000 employees. If you're not familiar with this company, they are big. Let's take a look at our TOS bar, and we can see in 1 week they're up 4.2%, 1 month they're up 8.1%, 2 months 4%, 3 months 20%, now we're talking, and 6 months 61.1%. Our ATR on this is $5.30, which represents 3% of the current price, and our recommended trail stop is low at 8%, and boom, check this out. Their volume, they are up 221%. And if we look at the chart, we can see this is a train that we want to ride. It is in an upward trend, and we can tell it's in an upward trend by looking at the 20-day EMA and the 50-day, and we've got what I call the railroad tracks, which is the gap that forms in an upward trend, and here it went down, almost closed out, and now it's starting to take off again. If we come down and we look at our squeeze alert, we are in a squeeze alert, bright green bar on the momentum, so we're definitely moving up, and we can see the momentum here is clearly moving up now, and this is what we want to see. Plus we have confirmation on our PMC and our MACD. We just crossed over to a bright blue line, and we also have the bright green lines. Now a lot of you guys ask me on my channel, hey Jerry, a lot of the stocks you show, they've already ran up, they're up too much, I want to get in early. This is how you get in early, and this is my favorite one on the day because we are playing the direction of the main trend. The trend is our friend. So our overall trend is up, our momentum is up, and we've got a long, powerful squeeze coming. So this is a great opportunity. Plus, we've got 2 buy signals right here, the JR1, while we are in a squeeze. So this is a beautiful looking setup. The one possible red flag that we've got is we have earnings coming up, and that's going to be on the 23rd. And what's very common for an earnings run-up is if people are expecting a good earnings, you play the rumor, sell the news. So the one concern here is a lot of people could be buying expecting a great earnings report, and then they sell just before that earnings report. So there's a couple different ways you can play it. One, you could buy the rumor, play the news. You could buy right now and sell right before this earnings is announced. Or if you like the setup on the squeeze, you could buy and hold it over earnings. So definitely a great looking play here. You've got to decide the way you want to play it, but something looks like it's about to go down, and it's clear on the charts. And we've got the squeeze alert and the momentum indicator, and I hope you guys see how these little boxes right here, these labels, really help us see exactly what's going on. Up next, we've got our question of the day. What are your favorite ways to play the squeeze? My favorite way to play the squeeze is when the stock consolidates while it is in an upward trend and the momentum is increasing. You can play a squeeze anytime, but when you play the squeeze in the direction of the overall trend, the risk is much lower. Also, the more clear the momentum, the higher the likelihood that the stock will move in that direction. As always, my goal is to give as much value as I can, and if you want to help out my channel, please click the like and subscribe buttons, and if you want to take your investing to the next level, join our Patreon community. May your stock losses be less and your profits be more, and nothing but happiness come through your door. Peace, and I'll see you on the next video.